All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, another deep dive.
Today, we're going to be looking at something that sounds a little technical at first, but I promise you, it's going to be very, very interesting and very impactful. We're going to be looking at the Active Directory.Domains formula.
In Power Query.
In Power Query's M language.
Yes,
so
exactly.
if you are familiar with Power Query and the M language, you know that it's a very, very powerful tool for transforming and preparing data for analysis.
Right.
And this Active Directory.Domains is like a special key that unlocks a very specific, very powerful capability within Power Query and the M language.
It really is.
So I guess to get started, have you used the Active Directory.Domains formula before?
I have, yes. I've used it quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
And it's a really neat formula. I think it's one of the more powerful ones that we have in Power Query for specifically Active Directory.
And why is that?
Well, because it allows you to very easily get a list of all the domains within a specific forest.
Okay, so it's not just the domain of the computer you're currently working on.
No, it can be any forest that you have access to.
Okay.
So as long as you have the credentials and the permissions, you can use this formula to essentially map out your entire Active Directory environment.
So it's like a company directory almost.
Exactly.
That just shows you all the different departments.
Yeah, and all the different branches and everything.
Even across different physical locations, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't matter where they are geographically.
So that's got to be pretty helpful for like IT admins who are trying to manage, user access and permissions and things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Across a large organization.
It's a huge time saver.
So let's break down the syntax a little bit.
Okay.
The formula itself is pretty simple. It's just Active Directory.Domains.
Right.
And then in parentheses, you have this optional parameter called forest root domain name.
Right. So that parameter allows you to specify a particular domain that you want to start from. But if you don't specify it, it will actually default to the current machine's domain.
Okay, so that makes it even easier to use.
Yeah.
If you're already connected to the network.
Exactly.
What happens if you're not connected to the network?
Well, then you would definitely want to specify the forest root domain name parameter.
Okay.
So that you can tell the formula where to start looking.
Right, because if you're on a laptop and you're at home.
Right.
And you're not VPN in or anything.
Exactly.
It's not going to know where to look.
Right. It won't be able to find anything.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the output of the formula is a table.
Right. The nice structured table.
With a list of all the domains.
Yeah, and it's not just a simple list of names.
Okay, what else is in there?
It actually includes a lot of other useful information like the domain controllers.
Okay.
The trust relationships between the domains.
Okay, so you can see how they all fit together.
Exactly.
You can see like which ones are parent domains and child domains and all that.
Exactly, yeah. You can see the whole hierarchy.
And then also sites.
Right, so sites are basically geographical groupings of domains.
Okay, so that's helpful for like replication and things like that.
Exactly.
So it's a very, very powerful formula. It gives you a lot of information.
It does.
About your Active Directory environment.
It really does.
So let's talk about some real-world applications.
Okay.
You mentioned security audits earlier.
Right.
How would this formula be used in a security audit?
Well, imagine a scenario where there's been a potential data breach.
Okay.
You need to very quickly identify all of the domains that might be affected. So you can use this formula to get that list of domains very quickly.
And then pinpoint the ones that are actually affected.
Exactly.
And then take the appropriate steps to mitigate the damage.
Exactly.
So it can be a very, very valuable tool in a security incident.
Absolutely. Yeah, it can save you a lot of time and effort.
And potentially a lot of money.
And potentially a lot of money. Yeah.
And headaches.
And headaches.
What about other applications?
Well, think about things like deploying software updates.
Okay.
You can use this formula to target specific domains based on their characteristics.
Okay, so you could say like, I only want to deploy this update to domains that are running a certain operating system.
Exactly, or that have certain applications installed or that are in a certain geographical location.
So you can really fine-tune your deployments.
Exactly.
And make sure that you're only targeting the machines that you want to target.
Right.
So it's a very, very powerful tool for managing your Active Directory environment.
It really is.
And it's just one of the many, many tools that are available in Power Query.
Right.
So I encourage you to explore Power Query further.
Yeah.
And see what other magic you can unlock.
Absolutely.
But for now, I think that's a good overview of the Active Directory.Domains formula.
Yeah, I think so.
So thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
See you later. Bye. Bye.